Hello, we are back for a cheeky little part two on a Saturday. I really do think that I'm about to turn a new leaf and put all of the negativity in the past. I had some very positive comments on my video this morning, so I just want to say positive vibes to you guys. Big love from me to you. I did write some stuff on this bit of paper that I wanted to talk about a couple of videos back, and I didn't get around to even talking about the important things. It's just a bit silly that I didn't get a chance to talk about it. So I'm going to go through a few of these questions that I've got. Was Tom Hilton ever in Tenerife? There's no evidence to prove so. Did Jay steal a watch? As far as I'm aware, and as far as you, the viewer, is aware, we have no proof to say so. Jay's phone being on 1%. That was always a strange one because obviously Ayab made it very clear that he told Jay to go into Rocky's room and get his charger. Then Jay goes off and is speaking to Brad and Lucy and says that he has 1%. That's a strange situation that I have trouble getting my head around. Is there some lost time? The lack of CCTV. This is a big one for me, but I think I might have the answer. There is a severe lack of CCTV evidence from the NRG festival, from outside in the street after the festival, from all of the roads all the way up to Masca that could have been spotting the car on CCTV. None of that. There's CCTV that we've seen from around the Masca area, but nothing of Ayab's rental car or of Jay. Now, something crossed my mind that has made me think, is that intentional? I know there's some internet sleuths that would like you to believe that this is a big cover-up by the police and by the drug underworld in Tenerife. And they've wiped all the CCTV. The CCTV from the beach has been wiped and all of this stuff. But what if it's just that the police have just taken all of this evidence to use as evidence in the investigation, and therefore it's no longer accessible to the public? What if all of this CCTV is telling the full story? What if they know more than the likes of people who are covering this on the internet? There is two sides in this. There are the side of people who unequivocally believe that Jay was murdered. And then there's the side of people, which, by the way, happens to be the side that is closest to the case, who believe that this is a really tragic event. I have been a fence sitter massively because as much as there's a lot of suspicious situations going on around the case, a lot of people who are not squeaky clean and may be avoiding telling the truth in certain aspects, even though that is true, all of the evidence, the actual evidence that I've ever seen, I've never really seen anything that proves to me for a fact that this was foul play. And that's why I'm a fence sitter. That is why I find it hard to decide whether I think there's foul play or I believe the official narrative. Now, somebody like Chris Tenerife, he has always been adamant that this is not foul play. Surely we owe that man a little respect. He is the man that found Jay's body. He is the man that went off his sofa and out into the wilderness to a place where somebody died because of the landscape, put himself and his life at risk, and actually is the only person that was able to locate Jay's body. I think he deserves some credit for that. He did say the other day, like, is nobody going to give me credit for that? Chris, I'll give you credit for that. Well done, mate. Well done. Because for all the people who've got opinions and all the people that are throwing mud, they don't have in my opinion, they don't have the right to talk somebody like Chris down, because Chris is one of the only people that has made a significant difference. I think that we're going to, maybe in these documentaries, see some information, some evidence that the Spanish police will release that might do a very good job of proving exactly what happened to Jay. And we will see. But I'm under the impression that one or both of these documentaries is going to show some evidence. And I think that when we see that, we might, or some people might, regret their attitude and their behavior towards this case in a big way. The beach. The beach CCTV, which wasn't wiped, or which disappeared, sorry, where you apparently hear Lucy say, Jay, you told me he's not going to get stabbed. If that was Jay being stabbed on the beach, and you can hear Lucy saying, you told me he wasn't going to get stabbed, why don't you hear any fighting, or why don't you hear Jay scream? Or Jay panicking and shouting, stop, help, stop. Seems a bit odd. I've never bought the beach theory ever. The second car at the Airbnb. Does anybody have proof of this? Or is this just hearsay? Because I've never seen no proof of it. The Maruba boat. Does anybody have proof that that boat, or anybody that ever has been on that boat, has any involvement with Jay's disappearance? I've never seen any proof of it. There are people that say that Jay was never in Masca. Well, I believe that I have seen proof of Jay in Masca. That video that Ayub gave to Cullen on the Central Club podcast, to me, is absolute proof that Jay was in Masca at that Airbnb. And Jay's father, Warren, has backed up the claim that that is Jay's voice. So that is proof. I recently saw Wax saying something about a boot being open on a car, or something. I think we're reaching there. I think that video, this is my opinion, I'm entitled to it. I think that video is absolutely foolproof. That is just what Ayub has always said that it is. Jay was in good spirits. He didn't seem intoxicated, or, off out of his mind, or off his face. He just seemed like he was having a good time, and was just off on a jolly with some lads that he knew from wherever he met them. Rocky was clearly pretty sleepy after he'd had a good drink. And what happened once they went into that Airbnb, just like everybody else, I don't know. But that video, to me, proves that Jay was in Masca outside that Airbnb, and he was in good spirits. There is the point that I made on somebody's live a while ago, that you can hear what sounds like NOS canisters, the jingle jangle of a box of canisters. Anybody that's been around those canisters, you'll know what I mean, that there's a specific sound. Those canisters can really mess you up, and I do wonder if Jay had been taking those NOS canisters like all through the night, because I know some of these kids, they're like bang on these blooms, bang on them. Maybe in the time from when he went into that Airbnb to the time that he landed himself in the position in the mountains where he can be retrieved from, that perhaps those NOS canisters were heavily a part of his lack of good judgment. Maybe that's just a question I have. I've got other questions, but I'm going to leave it there for today. I've always had questions. I've always been kind of down the middle, because I don't like to invent theories, and I don't like to believe what people tell me to without seeing evidence. And I think that's a lot of what goes on around this case. But I think the one thing I want you to take away from this is we didn't see any CCTV. I don't want people to think that there is no CCTV. Loves you. Ta-da.